Guys, happy 2024. Hey, 2023 was an awesome year. NASDAQ finished up, 57%. S&P was up 20+%. Awesome year in the market. Let's get on to 2024. I know a lot of you guys got goals for love, fitness, money, career, trading. This is always the time to hit it in gear. The first 2 weeks are always going to be telling for you guys, so make sure you do your studying and your planning properly. Just a little word of advice in terms of the market. No 2 years are ever the same, right? So just because we had this epic trend in 2023 does not mean that 2024 is going to be the same. We still may have an epic trend, but it's not often going to mimic the previous year. So this year, most of the gains were made in large cap tech. That's your Teslas, right? That's your Tesla and your Nvidia, right? You can see a lot of these are up way more than Tesla, but right, that's your Meta, AMD, like holy AMD, right? That was what led the markets. And you know what? They can still have awesome years, but oftentimes there is a little bit of a switch over. So remember, trading patterns, setups, these all are pretty linear. They carry over year to year, but the application of them, when to use them, when not to use them, and on the stocks that you use them on will trade often year to year and sometimes even quarter to quarter. So be observant, take your notes, do your trade journal, take the next couple weeks and really spend some time understanding what's going to lead the way or what are the themes that are developing for 2024. It may take a little bit, but a theme will develop. So let's just get into this. Friday, we had a little dipsy-do dunkaroo in the markets. We had a steeper pullback and then we had end-of-day rebound into the 9 EMA. We'll see if that means anything. I've been telling people for a while, I thought that probably in the first week of 2024, we may see some selling as people lock in their profits, try to pay their taxes, this kind of thing. We'll see tomorrow. We're at a sweet spot. We have the 9 EMA and the old breakout spot. These need to hold. If they don't hold, it doesn't mean that the bull market is over, not by any chance, but it does mean that we may be into a deeper period of consolidation or pullback, which could last, from days or even longer. Remember this and internalize it. Stocks, they trend for periods of time, but then they also, after big long pushes, they consolidate often for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months, sometimes longer. Do not discount the fact that, we can run even longer, but at some point we're going to have some consolidation. It doesn't mean the bull market is over or anything like that. You're digesting these moves, and that's very, very natural. Let's take a look at the SPY. We're still at these breakout spots. What we need to do is see this breakout into all-time highs and just kind of confirm this thing into 2024, suck in some buyers, and let the chase go on, right? If it doesn't roll there, then we'll consolidate. Hey, we could even ping pong around back and forth between these two levels and backfill, and I think even that would be still pretty healthy. I just want you to be cautious tomorrow. I've seen sentiment change on a dot when years change, and this can be 2021 was very, very similar, going from 2021 to 2022. We had this big, long distribution market going for a period of time. And then, boom, dude, day one, we started to see the weakness. Day two, right? We started to see the pickup. And then January was dusting, after having a decent push into the end of December in 2021. Right, that first week, the market showed its cards for the year. I'm not saying that's going to happen. We were in a different stage of the cycle, but these are the things we want to be just kind of careful of. One last thing to look at, the T2108 indicator did stall out at resistance here. This is your measure of market breadth. Anything over this white line is an extreme level that will indicate that at some point you're getting a big pullback in the markets. We got into there and we didn't thrust over, but we are still really, really overbought, and something we just need to be mindful of. A little bit of relieving the pressure in terms of stocks breaking up versus down will be very, very good. And same thing on the T2108% stocks over the 200-day moving average, right, is still really overbought and into some resistance. We'll see what that means. I don't know if it's anything yet, but we want to just mean, we got to be careful, right? That's just the nature. That's just the nature of the game. Let's take a look and see what we got for tomorrow. I think there's some good-looking stocks here that, we can still play. And I want to just be mindful, if we need shorts, then we can take them too. So in terms of some, I'm just going to go down the list. So I think Netflix is a nice flag here. You got 440 to 500, and then you got this kind of 5, 6, 7 day pullback over here. Watch for a break of this trend line. I think probably you need, 491, 492, something in the zone over here to really confirm. And what you do want to do is just watch and see the price action tomorrow. Are we going red to greens, and do they follow through, or do we roll over? What I mean by that is something like Uber. See, Uber gapped down on Friday, and then it popped up, filled the gap, and it tried to go red to green. But normally when it go red to green in the last 2 months, since the end of October, you would just explode at this dotted line here, and you'd have this immense follow through. Instead, we got faded off there. That's more of a 2022 tactic, ended up being the short spot. That's a little bit more, that's a bearish sentiment. That specific spot right there and how stocks react around it is a key indication of price action and who's in control, buyers or sellers in the market. And so if we start to see this get rejected a lot versus the explosion that's been happening, that will be a telltale move. So I like Netflix if we need longs. Now, I don't know if we're going to need longs yet, but that's if we need them. We got Allcoin, right? We had the kind of double top intraday. I've been calling this one all over the place the last week. We had a really, really good rip on it. Look at my other YouTube video on how I traded these. I pikered it, but I'm a piker by love. I'm piker, baby. Piker is my middle name. So I pikered it, but it was still an awesome trade. Made the month and made the end of the year. Awesome jam. Look, I believe Bitcoin is going to be up today. You can already see it's at 45,000. It's coming out of a 1 month consolidation. So I actually anticipate these stocks gapping up. And this is the key on Bitcoin stocks. It's a little bit different than other stocks. So anytime you see a big dump like this, if you saw a gap up, you would immediately try to fade it. But because there's also this secondary market of Bitcoin that's influencing these stocks like this Mara, if that keeps running, you may see a little bit of a gap and grind into some higher levels. And then, you'd have to watch until later into the day for the fade off. It may not be right off in the morning like it was on Friday, right? Where you just get this gap up and this boom, shakalaka, rollover. That is the playbook. But if Bitcoin is breaking out like that, you may see a gap up and a grind higher for a little bit of time. And it may not even roll over. You could have inside days or something like that too. So you got to be a little bit careful not to step in front of the train on that, but I still like this. If this loses the 9 EMA here, you've got a lot of room to fall because this is the most extended name right out of the large cap, kind of 20 billion plus type of stocks. I'm still watching these solars. I think this is going to be probably a big theme for 2024. Not because I'm a solar expert, just they're so beaten down. And you have so many of these consolidating after this bottoming pattern. I think that they've got just some nice levels that are kind of setting up on this thing. Beyond that, I don't know what just happened here, but you got HIMS here. These are your boner pills, right? You've got yourself 1 test, 2 test, 3 test, 4 test. Dude, HIMS is awesome, man, right? Probably some of you guys sneak over to HIMS right now and get your boner pills, right? So this is this is the future, but this needs to confirm here, right? If it does, then you got till here and then probably till 12, I think. Snow's another one, right? Nice consolidation. You got a happy-go-lucky level here around 202, 203. It doesn't really matter. This will be the key, right? See, you want to see these things. When they see how they go red to green yesterday and they rolled over, very, right? That's indicative of the price action on this. See, Peloton, it tried to pop that 650 yesterday and then it just completely rolled over. And so I like all these names, but they may get dusted. They're up a lot, right? And so we need to see what the market is telling us tomorrow, right? Is 2024 going to be a little bullish time still, or is it going to be a bearish time? Don't think, remember, these things everything is up 200, 300% that we trade for the most part, besides like shit like Peloton, right? Even Hood's up, right? Multiple hundreds of percent in this last pop. You might need bigger pullbacks, right? So like if this Uber loses its, 20 SMA, you've got a lot of room to fall to the 54. You can do some puts on this because it doesn't have enough ATR to really do shares, but it's got good enough range. You can get size in it. And you can see like something like this Roku too, right? It's like you got this kind of like a little bearish signal. If we need a short, then we've got ourselves, right, this like nice kind of bear flag down into the 50-day moving average. It's got a potential. So we could take any, if the market firms up, we could take these stocks on breakout. But if we need some bear flags, right, we've got Uber. I think we could try Roku. And, like even something like this CVNA is at a sweet spot where it's like, if the market's bullish, it could break this trend line break and go. But if you look at the short-term price action, the pops have been getting fade off. See this fake red to green here? Right? Like it's been doing this a lot. Like it's been gapping up and fading. Gapping up and fading. And so, even though it's still a really, really bullish pattern, it totally needs the market to confirm. If it loses 52, then you've got room to fall, right? You've got maybe room down to 48 or even 40. And so that's something we got to keep an eye on, in the coming week. What's this market going to bring us, right? Is very, very important. We've got a $20 breakout, $20 12 breakout VKTX. Right, old Google, you got a breakout here, pull back into the breakout spot in the 9 EMA. You got a nice spot here too. Now, once again, this is going to need the market to confirm. If it loses this spot, like you've got all this room under, that it can fall too, right? So we need, a lot of this is going to be so dependent on the market that, we've got to just be super mindful of this. I take off BLDP and AXPI. I don't think it's got enough liquidity. I think for the week tomorrow, we want liquidity. Dude, this thing was a beast. Look at this. Pop down. Right? This is another one. If these crypto stocks are gonna reverse and the market reverses, then this thing is a big turd, right? It has a history of like just going from a buck and then dropping like 50-60% and popping back. It's a volatile name. You had 35 million shares of volume yesterday, but this is probably a classic fade setup if everything else confirms. Like, we don't know yet, right? And I repeat, we do not know what the tenor is going to be of 2024. We're going to have to watch this price action in the morning. But these are the kind of names. If I need faders, like see this AAY? Dude, straight down $5, right? Total liquidation. This is another one. Like if the market rolls over, this thing was just $6. You go to $24 in a month or two. We can roll that thing over, right? We can roll that thing over, and we've got a lot of room. Same thing with Mara, right? Like, look at the range on this, right? A gap up, and if Bitcoin fails that breakout, say we wake up tomorrow and it's not at 45,000 anymore, it's at 43, right? Then these things are going to roll back over if we get a failed move tomorrow. But so far, we're not seeing that. CLH, I think this is a hot name for probably beginning of 2024. This was a huge trender, and then we had this nice pullback into 200-day moving average. Finally showing some signs of bottoming. We had a 2-day low-volume pullback here. I think a week open on this one. We can, possibly try to bounce this one. It's got pretty good range, 4% daily ATR. AMD's one that maybe we look at for a potential short if the market rolls too. You can kind of see, like, it's getting a little bit long in the tooth here. AMD, NVIDIA, both. The spikes keep getting fade up, but then they're also buying up the dips on it. Where I'm curious to see, this will be the tell to see what type of setups are working in January. If they let this NVIDIA break out, and then they rug it, I'm talking about the big rug, to make it a failed breakout and trap everybody here, then the price action for January will probably be pretty bad in terms of failed breakouts, fugazis, like breaks of resistance that people got used to really buying in 2023. They'll stop working, and you'll start to get the kind of reversion plays where it's the failed moves equal fast moves, right? So watch this as a tell, because this is your tech darling, one of the big winners of the last couple of years. If they let this thing break out and then boom, it rugs, then we're in for, we're in for some selling and some nasty price action. The market may not roll over, but we'll be in for some nasty price action, meaning when patterns fail, okay? So just something to keep mind of. I want you to keep a list of longs and short. I have this hood here on Breakout Watch 2 here. We got kind of multiple tests of this 1340. Needs a little work here, but this is another one. If the market gets hot, I think it gets picked up. Same thing with VFS, but in general, a lot of these plays, I want you to keep a list of both longs and shorts, right? We want to be able to keep some longs. We want to be able to keep some shorts. And, let's watch some of these kind of solars and still some of these bottoming plays to see if they get picked up. But keep an eye on those big techs. If they break out and then fail tomorrow, it's going to tell us, it's going to be a big tell on the price action of the markets. Take care, guys. I love you. Smash that like button, man. Let me know what's going on over here. I love you guys. Peace.